Welcome once again. We are back. Last time we were challenged by network connection, but finally, Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, the NUP deputy spokesperson, is here with me. Alex, first say hi to people.
Good morning to those that is morning. Good evening to those that is evening. Good afternoon to those that is afternoon. I want to especially greet all the people of Uganda on the milestones that we have covered together and on the challenges. I want to assure the people of Uganda that we can only work together more and more to see that we envisage and see the country that we badly desire as a people. It takes two to tango. It takes our personal responsibilities as individuals to see that the dreams of our children and our grandchildren, the foundation to that can only be constructed now. And that is what we have set out to do. That is the agenda we have given to ourselves. That is the task we have tasked ourselves and committed ourselves to achieving. I want to tell you that we have reached somewhere. The mere fact that today I am speaking to fellow Ugandans across the world, not only here locally, but across the world, on matters pertaining Uganda, when I am back here home, it is of personal satisfaction that all of us are really doing what we can. I know sometimes we are challenged by the cosmopolitan nature of our outlook and existence, by character and structure in terms of accepting the diversity that we hold as a people, despite the fact that other individuals have continuously thought that they can blackmail us to be a tribalistic outfit. But I greet you all, comrades watching all over the world. We are humbled that we are live on this show, and I hope you have thoughtful, fruitful deliberations this evening, my brother. I am not getting you.
I was saying that I'm glad that this time around we are very, very steady. The network is very clear. And I hope each and everyone is getting us loud and clear. Now, Alex, getting started, the recent amendments to the National Inter-Platform Constitution have caused, squabbles, particularly when it comes to the term limits. Some members, including actually MPs, have raised the concerns about the implications of these changes. And on this matter, what are your thoughts on these concerns, and how do you see the changes affecting NUP's leadership and its future? Because everyone is really concerned. You got me very well? Alex? Oh. Alex? Not again. Alex? I can't hear you. to whoever is watching us live, just hold on for just a few minutes or seconds as I work it out this side. As yes, Alex, you had
I was not getting you.
But did you hear the question?
I did listen to the question.
All right.
And
That's
indeed,
good.
I did hear the question. The question was seeking for my personal opinion
Yes.
on the term limits
Yes.
of both elected leaders and the leaders of the party. First of all, I wish to inform the public that in 2004, as we were going for the multi-party dispensation, the National Unity Platform was formed then, and therefore it was formed and registered with the Constitution, because there is no political party in Uganda that can operate under that law without having the instruments of operation. And the instruments of operation of any organization, they start from the basics of one having a constitution, membership, among others. Now, in 2020,
That's 2 years ago.
For the general election, the National Unity Platform, the delegates conference that was held in Waiswa, that saw the coming in of a new leadership. In that delegates conference, I was privy to the conference myself and other leaders, and we saw His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu being ushered in as the president of the National Unity Platform. Looking at the times at when the National Unity Platform had been promulgated, and now, of course, there were challenges and loopholes in law. We call them a lacuna in our constitution to run to the current times of the 21st democracy. Therefore, in the wisdom of the president and our able leader, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, he tasked and gave responsibility to people with legal acumen and capability to constitute what we call the National Unity Platform Constitutional Review Committee, that was headed by the able leadership of the Honorable Medard Segona, our Member of Parliament of Busiro. Embarking on that process in the last 6 months, it has been a consultative process.
Wait a minute.
Ideas.
So it has been an ongoing process because it happened so fast.
No, it didn't happen. Now you're looking at the results, and I intend to take through all Ugandans on the processes that were followed in coming up with the proposals first, with the review, because once they talk about review, a review is not an amendment. A review is a restructure of a constitution to suit the times at which it is operating as an institution. So we undertook a review that rhyme with the 21st century and this order, especially when we are fighting a dictatorship. Reminiscent of the national constitution, recalling the history of Uganda and the preamble of our tragedy as a country, looking at the trajectory of Uganda from 1962 after independence up to now, there are bottlenecks. There are bottlenecks been identified that must be answered to for Uganda to be on the right democratic course. And part of them that must be broken is the issue of leaders who overstay in power. Now, our constitution does not only have an article that is embedded with term limits. It was a process, but this is the one that has created, I should say,
a lightning road of debate.
It has enhanced debate, which debate is very positive indeed, because I believe it speaks to the core of people power, but then also it speaks to the core of elective positions that have salary, and then also administrative positions, as you realize, that give power of people to run the secretariat. Now, the first thing that was done in this review, the first article that was looked at, was the composition of the biggest body of the party, that is the Delegates Conference. The Delegates Conference was expanded from 150 persons to over 500 people. And this is dependent, cognizant to the fact of the election return of our leaders. In the event that the return of our leaders of the National Unity Platform is higher than it is today, then it means that the threshold of scientific numbers presence to the Delegates Conference would automatically increase from 500 to the number consonant to the leaders that have been elected. I want this categorically clear to this. For example, if we have 350 members of parliament elected, it means definitely with the election of 350 members of parliament, looking at the composition outlook of the offices that are supposed to attend the Delegates Conference, you have 115 members that are two people from the district, that's the district chairman and the district woman leader. That creates already, that gives you a surge of over 600 people, given the number that I have spoken about. But then also, if you go deeper to these other electoral structural positions of the party, for example, the National Executive Committee are members to the Delegates Conference. Those are a constant. The members of the Executive Board are members of the National Delegates Conference. Those are a constant. The members of the Advisory Council, those are also a constant. Therefore, the number of the Delegates Conference, because leaders that are elected by people are supposed to be a representation to our highest formulation organ, that is the Delegates Conference. And that was all done in this review. My brother JB, you are domiciled in the diaspora. I want to tell the members of the diaspora that with the wisdom and review of this constitution, the members of the diaspora will be represented by their leadership.
Wow.
It has started. Yes, for the first time in the history of Uganda, our Delegates Conference shall have a composite representation of members from our diaspora team. This is all looking at expanding the decision-making body to have our party in the hands of Ugandans. Even we,
first
the founders of the institution, are not there.
First of all, there for the case of diaspora, now like we have over 30 chapters in the diaspora, do you mean each chapter is going to be represented, or the entire diaspora as a block?
We are looking at the entire diaspora as a block. We are very, very firm that the leadership of the diaspora is in unison, and it has the ability to understand the plight of the people that they represent and lead, and also it has a full capacity to put whatever ideas of the people of the diaspora have in the running of our party, but most importantly, in the future running of our country. Because this constitution is envisaged in the proper running of our country. When
Alex,
we left that, the second one, just hold it there, please.
All right. Okay, go on.
I wanted to give you the 10 points.
Oh, all right. Please go on.
The other, we introduced the chairman and vice chairman. In the National Unity Platform, There was no chairman, there was no vice chairman. It meant that the delegates conference was to be convened by the General and the President. Today, with the devolution of power and the wisdom of His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, we are able to have a constitution that introduces the office of the chairman, who will be responsible for the calling of the delegates conference, because the delegates conference is the highest auditing body of the running of the party. It sits once in 5 years, and therefore it needed an independent person who would chair the consistencies and inconsistencies of the day-to-day running of our party. Therefore, it was also created in that review commission. I want to tell the viewers, this office is number 2 in hierarchy. You can imagine where all of us were involved. We created a position that would help in the audit, in the running, and in the professional running of our party. In the same vein, we also say that the National Unity Platform will run a lean and acceptable government. A government, therefore, in the National Unity Platform, in the wisdom of having a lean government, okuba ne government etalina masavu nga ya kinyama kyokka, kubanga amasavu batogeetaaga galwaza n'okulwaza, kati ye government gye twagala okukola. Era on that note ne tuintroduce nga kye tuyita executive board. Executive board eno egenda kubeeramu departments 10. Departments zino ze zigenda okuyambako mu kurunning ekibiina day to day running. Mulimu department ya communication ng'eyekulemberwa as spokesperson, mulimu office ya secretary general, mulimu office ya administration and finance, mulimu office ya treasury, mulimu office ya mobilization, mulimu office ya bakyala, mulimu omuntu akwataganya n'ensonga za diaspora, international diplomacy, okusobola okurunning ekibiina. Naye era bw'otunuulira wisdom y'abakulembeze n'akakiiko, ekibiina kigenda kuruningibwa departments 10. Tubeere nti kiri kye tubadde twogerako, having a bloated government is effectively answered. The other that I want to tell Ugandans as a matter of amendment is the issue of leaders at all avenues to have a threshold of 50%, looking at the issue of women, special interest groups, among others. These have also been co-opted, represented at the National Executive Committee. The other amendment that has been structured, that all of you now have been talking about,
you want for
is
term
the
limits.
amendment of term limits. Now,
term
limits. Ekisooka bannayuganda njagala tukkirize, tosobola kugaba ky'otalina, tosobola kugaba ky'otalina. You can't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
We all know that Uganda's problem and Africa's problem is leaders who overstay in power. Scholars have said that the leaders who overstay in power and affect the democracy of the country are leaders that, one, envisage and have power in the constitution, like, for example, the presidency. People say that the presidency has more powers, and therefore these powers of the presidency can have a lot of influence even on the running today of affairs, other institutions of government, and therefore that person must not have term limits. But I want to tell you, do you doubt the influence of people like Anita Among today in Uganda, having been around for 10 years? We believe that service must be service. Service must not have experience. Service is obuweereza. Abantu baba balina kye baagala, tekirina kubaako political experience, kirina kubeerako service experience. For example, kikyamufa okulowooza nti buli muntu agenda okufuuka omubaka wa parliament agenda kuva eyo nga talina kye yali akoze. Abantu abamu abajja mu parliament baba bava mu government offices. Abamu bava mu parliament baba badde bakugu ku nsonga ez'enjawulo eziyamba abantu aba bulijjo. Abamu baba ba investor, abamu baba ba businessman, abalala baba ba superstar. So abantu baba bazze ne life experience, kubanga bino byonna ebya reality. Ekisinga okubeera ekikulu ye life experience, kikyoyiseemu ng'omuntu. And when you're drawing a constitution, world all over, the jurisprudence is to the character of the people, especially about the structure of any legal document. The substance must resonate to the plight of the people. Now, where you have identified...
On the same note, as you continue, I want you to take this in. Referring to the much needed efforts to depose Museveni, some people actually on this same matter have suggested that it's not the time to focus on term limits and the other, internal party issues. What would you say? Okay, what their suggestion is that NUP should be concentrating solely on devising means of removing dictator Museveni from power.
Now, I will answer that, but I wanted you to understand the issue of term limits before we go to other people, other people's views. Therefore, tosobola gaba chotaina.
Stufech.
Era ekkomo tetwalitadde ku babaka ba parliament, twalitadde ku bakulembeze b'ekibiina. JB Waiswa talibeera deputy spokesperson paka. Negoloza sandi agadde kubeera paka.
Tukwagala nnyo era
etteeka ligamba myaka bwe giwera 10 Waiswa taddamu kuweebwa buvunaanyizibwa obwo agenda aweereze ewala. Yabaffe experience gye mafunye mbwa deputy spokesperson sobola gitransferinga mu kukyusa kifo kirabwe manteereddwa. Bwe twali tuli mu National Unity Platform balonda Joel Senyo. Natulanga eka nembuuza naye tulifunayo omuntu atwogerera nga Joel. Olwaleero naawe ngambye nti munenyumiriza era ndi wano kiikirira kibiina.
Omanyi messages enafunye nga sheremeseddwa netiwaaka.
Kisa kya Mukama. So nga tuli mu revolution eri organic, nga tuli mu revolution ey'amaanyi g'abantu, tetusobola ate kukaaba human resource deficiency. It is rather important for you to understand nti akawaayiro kano kakuliyetinga ambition. Nti abadde kansala tukusuubira nti oba myaka 10 kansala tukwagala kuba meya. It creates ambition for the future leaders. Ekyokubiri, it creates certainty of continuity.
Expound more on that.
Mubeera sure nti obuweereza bukoma obw'omuntu omulala ne mufuna chance y'obuweereza obw'omuntu omulala. Omuntu alekawo ligase. Njagala nkubuulire Kenya olwaleero ba president bavuganya ani asinze okukola ebirungi okubikolera banna Kenya. Tebavuganya ani yazaalibwawo ani avaawa. Kasita mumanya nti nja kuvaawo omulala gye oyagala okole ebyo ebikirako oyo alijja oba ebisingo ye yavaawo. Naturally yebeera competition. Ekyokubiri njagala nkubuulire muganda wange. Ekimu ku kisinza okuleeta obuzibu mu Uganda ne mu lutalo lw'okuggyako gino Yoweri Kaguta Museveni be bantu ababadde mu bukulembeze okumala ebbanga ddene abafuuse complacent. Kikigambo kye mba nkozesa. Abafuuse complacent, ababadde compromised with the system. Compromised with the system, not compromised by the dictator. But you can be compromised by the system. The system ngengeri gyeddukanyizibwamu ebintu tekukkiriza kulaba in the alternative. For diplomacy, it calls for association, it calls for dialogue. Whereas the opposite, the people are doing something different. Secondly, the National Unity Platform is not operating only with the mindset of being in the opposition. We want to take power. And once we take power, we will be the biggest opposition, we will be the biggest political party, and therefore we will have availability of human resource need in the country. So if you have a member of parliament who served your party for 10 years in parliament, and you are in power, that person can ably be assigned to be a commissioner in any parastatal, in any organization, because he has, one, the ideological discourse of the party, having served in its political wings, but most importantly, he has the magnanimity to understand that he's serving his nation, given the political experience of legislation that he will have attained in the last 10 years. Therefore,
consider
even
scenario,
those who think...
On that note, consider
yes.
Scenario nga abantu baba bakyayagala omuntu oyo.
failure y'ensi eno be bantu okusigala nga baagala abantu abo. Obama bwe yali South Africa yagamba nti yali sure nti ne bwaddamu akalulu mu America ali basobola okumulonda ekisanja ekyokusatu kabe kasinga n'ekyokuna. Naye etteeka ekikozesa amateeka, etteeka liraba obuzibu. Etteeka liyinza okujja nga lirabye nti ejjebbi oyo bayinza okumwagala ennyo mu kumwagala ennyo abantu ne bafa. Tuteekewo ekkomo mu kwagala ennyo ejjebbi.
Example gy'okozesa.
Ontegedde bulungi. Kati etteeka likolebwa okukiwalinga ekizibu ekiyinza okujja mu maaso. So abantu okwagala omuntu, twagala abantu tuzimba ekibiina ekisinga abantu obunene kye tuli mu kuzimba. Twagala ekibiina kya National Unity Platform JB nga kisinga Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro obunene, nga kisinga His Excellency Kyagulanyi Robert Sentamu obunene, ng'ekibiina kinene ng'abantu si be banene. Kuba ekitawanyiza ebibiina by'obufuzi byonna ebibaddewo nga byo binene, abantu nga banene okusinga byo. Omuntu bw'oba obadde MP kikukakatako okumanya nti bw'oba okoze bulungi gw'ogenda okuzzaako asobola okutambuza emirimu gyo. Enkola yo yeyamba abakulembeze bo bw'oba owanzeko eddusu okusigalako wenoda ku assignment. Nale kyokubiri, endagaano gye tuli mu kukola n'omuntu yenna ku kintu kimu etandika 2026. Oyo awulira nti tajja kusobola kutambula naffe okuva 2026 okukulembera emyaka 10. Kuba kati MP aliyo already alina 5 gye tutabala. Nabana 15.
Mbadde njagala kujjawo kuba awo kirabika abantu bategeddewo bulungi Waiswa. I want you to expound more on that, especially that part. When this
amateeka tegali retrospective, tegakola nga gadda mabega. Etteeka likola litandikira mu maaso. Tebasobola gamba nti oli omuyembe guba musango ne bavunaana abagulidde ejjo. Buli muntu oba ogenda kumuvunaana yamanya nti musango n'atamanya nti ki. Batandikira awo mwogeredde. Therefore ekintu kino kigenda tandika mu 2026. Oyo alaba nga tabeere na mazima mu mutima gwe, tabe na niya ta Uganda, takozesa National Unity Platform, ng'awulira taliba kuwa bisanja 2 ku kifo kyali basabye, yesimbire mu kibiina ekirala.
Alex, on that note, because engeri gy'okireeseemu, it takes me to some of the members of the opposition who have expressed concern that the 2-term limit could actually result in the loss of experienced leaders who are crucial to the success of NUP. What's your message to such members?
I think they are lost. They don't know NUP. Let me tell you, NUP is already breeding leaders as I speak now. We are breeding leaders. For the last 5 years, we have had good presidents win at every university. Those are leaders. Leadership should not be. I think it is creating a lot of disharmony because ogozala kitebogera ku secretary general nti naye abeere nga talina kisanja oba president. Lwaki bogera ku MP kubanga kuliko omusaala. Ate oli omuntu abadde afuna omusaala ayagala asigale. Ekyokubiri, MP abo tebakulima mu tebalina influence. Gomanyi lwaki abantu katero bewandisa ku million 3. MP batula ne ba nti buli muntu kati okubeera MP alina kusasula nomination ya million 3. Abagala okufulumyamu abantu ba bulijjo. So nabo balina influence tebakulimba. Basolokera ku mache ne bagamba omuntu okubeera nga MP ali balina million 10 ku account nga bo babazi batereddeyo. Kuba bwe bayiseri etteeka buli MP bamu million 2 naye nga bagambye buli MP okwewandiisa sasule million 3. So balina influence ate nabo bakola okulemeza mu office okuba nga bali compromise. Ekirala tulwanyisa nakyemalira gwe tasuubira tusaayo mu myaka 10. Kyemugamba mwagala tubikole tubeere nga tetuvaawo okujja abagala kubeera comfortable mu bifo bibalimu.
Alex, there are very many concerns. Another serious concern evudde mu bantu ebibuuzo bino manyina bicollectings okuva mu bantu ab'enjawulo, and some have a very, very strange argument. Actually, they believe that Uganda's political landscape is too complex and unpredictable for such a rigid approach to leadership transitions. I want you to respond to that.
But we are also rigid.
How?
We are rigid, that is the fact.
How?
National Unity Platform is conservative. Yes, we are conservative on matters concerning human rights. We are conservative on matters concerning torture. We are conservative on matters concerning equal opportunity for all. We are conservative on matters concerning justice for all. Therefore, we are conservative. And let me tell you, we can only operate with certainty when people know that they come and go. You cannot give what you do not have. I have explained to my brother JB when you told me that people are saying, why are you beginning to do this now? We are doing this now because it is important to prepare. NUP is the political vehicle that will chauffeur Uganda to the promised land. It must also be having a credible, a formidable, a non-destroyable foundation of leadership. It must have direction from the start. You want us to prepare NUP when we are in power? We have
actually that was their argument, Alex. That was their argument.
No. Now
and
it is.
First, listen.
It is like
they were saying that the NUP should do solely concentrate on devising means on how to depose Museveni.
And devising means, I can tell you, you are charged with two things. You are charged with changing the country, delivering a new Uganda, and that delivering a new Uganda is administrative. Even if you're going to war, you must have organization at your front. And the yardstick of how we will lead Uganda must be envisaged in the National Unity Platform. Remember, I have told you this is an organization under the Multi-Party Dispensations Political Act. So, when already established by statute, by taker, we have NUP, we must prepare NUP, we must organize NUP, because even when we take power, it will be NUP, because we are under multi-party dispensation. It is a double-edged task that we must struggle to put NUP in power, but then we must also organize NUP to be able to run. Tosobola gamba nti goyagala chifunamu ng'ovuganya kuvuganya kusuka bisanja bisatu naye toyagala kukyegatamu kukikolerera kufuba nti ate mukyusa obukulembeze abantu bafuna assignment endala nga tufunye gavumenti JB kankuwulire naye tusobola okuyita yeeyo netugaa JB jangu tube nga tukuwa assignment wane waka okukyusa ku nsonga zino oba ziri kubanga Uganda is of the young unused human resource that we have all over the world, and we cannot wait for political experience to see that is sorted out. Not us, my brother.
Alex,
so tewaliwo muntu
as we wind up on this,
the legal existence of NUP gives us the legal opportunity to operate in whatever we are operating, to be able to depose the government. Therefore, nobody can stop us to have this legal status. I can tell you that people are only riding it wrongly. Issues, and we had to go into a legal question of solving the existence of many chapters, because to have those chapters exist in countries, you had to go through some legal processes for them to exist. Therefore, these legal connotations, where we have them, we must follow them, but we must follow them to certainty that they do not deprive us of the cardinal principle of defeating the ruling oligarchy.
I believe, let's first put that aside. We are going to come back to it. I want to bring in this Alexi, I want you to take this as a very serious one. During any struggle,
I've taken all of them seriously,
but this one more seriously. During any struggle, there are those who may betray the struggle. You will know that for various reasons. In our case, it is in public domain. We have identified individuals such as Kagabo, such as Bashir. Of course, these are echoes from the people, among others, who have abandoned our shared values, and the ideologies, and instead aligned themselves with Museveni. This has been made clear, and very, very clear, through their public demonstrations and the willingness to cause up with the dictator. Now, as we work to mobilize the masses to depose Museveni, doing all what we are doing, it raises questions of whether these individuals can still be counted as part of the National Unity Platform or People Power Movement. Do you believe they can play a vital role in mobilizing the masses, or should we consider them to be outside the fold of NUP?
this struggle is espoused on the idea, not on the individuals, and it is espoused on the idea of people returning the responsibility of where they want Uganda to be to the hands of them. So for me, it would be a waste of time to have my interest in discussing individuals and yet I have an idea to achieve. Ugandans understand, and I can tell you, even in the Bible, even in the Quran, even in day-to-day life, it happens that you wake up in the morning and somebody who was with a different opinion has been seduced to another opinion. Very unfortunately, that those who decide to betray the plight of the people and yet they have benefited from blackmailing Ugandans that they were with them, those will pay a very high price. I can tell you without contradiction, fear, that they will pay a very high price in times of life.
I want to
our strategy as a political party has not been to interest ourselves in individuals. It has been to interest ourselves in the task of the idea of a new Uganda. And for me, I can tell you that some people have also shown quite a significance of existence, even when they decide to dissent from what brought them to the forefront. So I don't intend to discuss individuals. I have said on different platforms that for me, I think Honorable Kagabo needs mental health care.
Okay, putting that aside, still on the same issue, Alex will recognize that strong leadership is very, very essential in any revolution, because we are in a revolution, I believe. So with that in mind, what is the considered NUP position regarding this issue of such people? Because especially if we put into consideration the people they lead.
You see, in leadership, it is funny that when you're a leader, when you put on the clothes of a leader, then you have to work in the different particular whims, even when the evidences are extremely glaring. There are processes of which we have to follow to reprimand ourselves in the party, and these processes have been ongoing. They have only been certified with the passing of our reviewed constitution. Many of the people who want to create controversy, they want to take National Unity Platform to a stage where it was at its inception 2 years ago, where it is undergoing different legal battles. And we have been alive to those legal battles that they have tried to draw us into, trying to use our own people against actions that should have been taken by the party. So we decided as an institution that we can decide to those small people, look away from them, focus on the big idea as we sort out the paradigm of the modus operandi of how an institution is supposed to look at indiscipline of and its members. So now we passed the code of conduct that ensures the character and ethical behavior, moral behavior of our leaders and ourselves as a people and membership of the party. We passed the sexual harassment policy. These are all documents that are looking to enhancing and tightening the discipline scores of our institution. I want to also tell you that the passing of the constitution establishes the existence of a disciplinary committee and its role from the grassroots to the national level. So all these are being done to streamline the governance issues, because as you know, we have the doctrine, the principle, and the cardinal principle of law, which talks about the doctrine of fair hearing. We did not want to be autocratic. We don't want to have the face of General Museveni in whatever kind it is, in whatever form it is, as we jurisdicate over issues of National Unity Platform. We want to be as democratic as possible. That's why, even after the passing of our constitution, that was consultative, that was all inclusive, we are still discussing the same, because we believe that communication is key. and listening from all sides of the country is key in idea of removing Dictator General Museveni from office.
All right, thank you, Alex. You've really expounded it very, very well. Now, what you know, kuba nacho chibo byabantu omutwe. We recently, anyway, before I go to that, I think let me first ask you about this, police and the military, the blocking of NEP activities countrywide, which has persisted. We recently witnessed a series of episodes where police and military, they turn up in large numbers with all their tools of violence, attack our MPs, our leaders. You recently witnessed an attack on Muwonge MP, that is Susan Mugabe, Chairman Nyanzi. With your wealth of experience in Uganda's politics and the way you say things, what would be the way forward? What's your advice to Uganda? Because it seems like this kind of pattern is not going to come to an end.
We must build the momentum and we must build the capacity, because these glaring, inhuman, degrading acts by security operatives are going to continue. In fact, they are going to grow, because the system has grown more and more unpopular on ground because of its purely poor leadership. So it is important for Ugandans to know that for us to achieve anything, we must build capacity, must build the necessary human resource development to be able to entangle the challenges of these archaic security operatives that are very tribalistic in nature and are only looking at the longevity of government.
Soko obulira omuntu omukyala yasemberayo ddala kuba abantu babadde kugamba abantu baggwamu amaanyi balaba nga abakulembeze baffe bagezaako okutuukira eri abantu. They are harassed, the way they are treated, ate nga in most cases kikomaawo netuddamu netugezaako era nekibeera kintu kyekimu. So soko wesuubi omuntu owansi eri
tusobola kukoowa kugezaako. Ekitugaana okutuuka eyo mu bantu, batugaana okutuuka mu bantu, ekisooka tebaagala abantu abo batulabeko. Ekyokubiri, kubanga bamanyi tuyimiridde ku nsonga z'abantu. Ekyokubiri, bamanyi nti n'abantu abo bwe batulabako tugenda kuvaawo nga tubasizeemu ensigo ey'enkyukakyuka etayinza kukyuka egendera mu bo ne mu byalo byabwe gye tuba tulaze. Bwe twali tukula, waliwo okwewaana okw'amaanyi okuva mu National Resistance Army nti obuwagizi bwabwe obungi baabuyinanga mu byalo. Olwaleero olw'okujjako omwagala w'abaandi His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, gwe nange tukimanyi nti kati ne mu byalo batutya. Bwe twali mu kalulu baakakasa eggwanga lyonna nti Kyagulanyi obuwagizi bwe obusinga yabuyina mu Buganda. Obusoga babawangula mu Western Uganda, tebakkiriza bululu kubeerayo, ate n'obwaliyo nawo twabawangulayo. Mu Northern Uganda obululu babubba kiro misana, kyova olaba olwaliro bapepeya ne Mao. Kwegamba okujja kwa His Excellency Kyagulanyi Robert Ssentamu kwongedde okubalabisa n'okulaga ensi Uganda nti obukulembeze obuliko si bw'abantu wabula bwa mmundu. Nabwe kityo tetusobola kukoowa kubanga ffe tulwanisa mmundu. We are the democratic government, they are the gun government. Kakati ffe tukyalwanisa eryanyi ly'emmundu. Era eryanyi ly'emmundu eryo n'ababaka ba paalamenti okutuuka ku bantu baabwe. Eryanyi ly'emmundu eryo lirikwasa abakazi, ng'abakazi abakwata babira, era abasajja basooka kwata ku mabeere nga tebanakwata walala, kubanga eyo ye rigimu ey'obwannakyemalira.
Webale nnyo Alex. Kangire ddala ku nsonga ya Kunga.
Ainomanya nti ffe tulina okusigala nga tukola obuvunaanyizibwa bwaffe paka bwe tunaatuuka ku ekyo kituluubirirwa. Tetusobola kwafoodinga koowa wadde okugamba abantu nti tukooye. Okukoowa kwonna eri omuntu yenna ali mu lutabaalo lw'okwenunula ebeera bitreyo, ebeera treason. Okoowa otya ng'ebizibu by'amalwaliro okoowa otya ng'ebizibu by'okusoma bikyaliwo, okoowa otya ng'obukendusi bukyaliwo. Tetusobola kukoowa nsonga eno gye tuliko.
Kino kigattire wamu Alex because ensonga eno eri very serious. Recently we witnessed how the military and police brutalized our secretary for mobilization, and that is none other than Honorable Nyanzi Sentamu Fred iranga kati atambuza migo. Wotunuliramu eyalinga ye yali head wabuli mobilization kwegambe yali atwala kunga. In brief, abantu amu bagamba nti okuva Nyanzi obamukakanya ne kunga eringa eyafa. Abakulembeze abalala abali ku ludda lwaffe oludda lw'abantu kale ababagamba nti bali ku ludda lwaffe tebalabibwako nga beetabye mu initiatives zino. Kunga programu mwagirekera Nyanzi yayina okukunga Uganda yonna anaamalako nga kati ali ku ttaka. There is nothing going on.
Amutataganya ndi naye. Naye kyamazima nti yakulira department ya kunga. Ekyokubiri nga bwe mulabye nti n'abantu baffe bonna ababaka ba parliament nabo tebakkirizibwa kuba kungaana. Kyo kyabadde era kibeera kya bugunjufu ng'ekibiina okuddamu okutuula ne wetinga ne mulaba ate obutaba bamusimbula nga muli wamu muli ba muzinzi era muli b'amaanyi. So kunga tesizise kunga already yakola structures zaayo yo wansi zebatakyasobola kulwanisa. We already have our structures okuva ku byalo. Era eyo gye twali tugenze ku launching obukulembeze obwo obadde ku launching bwanga. So oyo yenna alowooza nti yatulemesa okugenda mu maaso, oyo yenna alowooza nti yatutaataganya. Ffe tuli banja ogamba ne president waffe yatugamba tetuli ba bulijjo era tusobola okukola ebintu mu ngeri etali ya bulijjo ko nga kitegeeza mobilization. So kye tuliko kiri nti butu asobola okukunga.
Olinga agamba nti kunga programs ezimu zabeerangayo off camera tiwabeerangayo
era nakati zigenda mu maaso.
Alex, yes, waliwo section y'abana Uganda abayitirivu ennyo era nga nange kenyini nalaba message yaabwe nange nagambye limi nga 8 May bategese okubeera nga bakola kye bayita economic shutdown. Ensonga eyo wagiwulirako oba ogiwulirako?
Sigiwulira buwulizi ngimanyi.
Ogimanyi?
Ngimanyi.
Ekyo katukikomyawo. Kasito ogimanyi.
Kasito kikuwulire era kino kankikuwulire National Unity Platform.
Yes.
NUP kibiina ky'amaanyi g'abantu. Buli kintu abantu kye baliko ne NUP ekiriko.
Buli kintu abantu kye baliko
ne NUP
ekiriko.
Yeyo NUP kyobola ababaleka lubirizi bogitegeera bwe tutyo bwe tutambula. Era ebya economic shutdown nze ndi nabyo emirundi 10 ku kiti kati nyinza obutawagira economic shutdown n'awagira ki. Uganda eteekwa okuyita mu bantu bano okutegeera nti emmundu tekola. So buli muntu yenna asobola okukola nga kigwa mu constitution ya Uganda okwekalakasa economic shutdown obutagenda wantu wonna. Economic shutdown ndi wadde emezi okulata eri abo abaana babaze ku luguudo mba sirina musango gwezizza.
Naye Alex, mu mobilization zino omanyi you can't discount the fact that population yaffe ewuliriza nnyo kale oba kale esuubiririza nnyo mu bakulembeze. And despite the crackdown on political leaders, I can tell you, Alex, some have remained reluctant to join initiatives such as the Kunga campaign, to mobilize the masses against the current regime. So, what compelling arguments do you have for those who are still on the fence, and how can we work together?
I explained it yesterday that you see in life, Waiswa may have wanted a spokesperson in life, and he becomes the deputy spokesperson. To push him to fight to be a spokesperson when he wanted to be a deputy spokesperson. Mu bulamu mulimu abantu abatuuka n'agamba nze natuuka. Awo wendi saagala kutaataganyizibwa. Tuba understanding era tebatutawaanya ku bye tuliwo, kubanga naawe baba batuuka ffe tuba twabatuusaawo, ffe tweyongereyo ku lugendo luli olumalayo. Kuba nze gye ndaga nateekayo nti nze okuwummula ebintu bino nga tuwangudde omusajja gwe bayita General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Kati nze ye pulogulaamu yange, kati eri ayinza okunneegattako nga ye pulogulaamu ye yambako okufuuka memba wa parliament, nze kumuyambako okufuuka kansala, nze kumuwa ttutumu ne yeetunda, nze kumuwa opportunity ne bamugula. Kati abo tebayinza kumulamwa guli gwe mba ntandise, kuba bano bonna bansanga mu lugendo luli. Olugendo lwendiko lwakujjako nakyemalira Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Gwe toyinza kujja olw'okuba benefitingidde mu byendiko, kwegamba ndi mu lugendo nasibye kasooli, nasibye dduuma wange, nditambula n'eggwanga. Bwe ntuuka mu njira n'enkuwa ku dduuma wange, kitegeeza nti enjira ye ndijjamu neeyo. Oyinza okuba nga wenkuweerera edduuma iwe wookoma, aye nga weena endala eri kuluma awo wooli oyenda olye ku dduuma. Mutono walyako benze neeyongerayo. It does not mean that you will end where they say. In Lusoga they say, aidanda bw'omulwaire tinaamusikira.
Ekitegeeza ki?
Ajjanjaba omulwadde si yamusikira. Osobola okubeera ku kitanda emyaka 5 naye ate obusika ne babuwa JB abadde Malawi.
Kituufu nnyo. Kakati Alex, on the same issue, don't you think there is a way it affects our activities? Because some of these people subscribe to the nationality platform, they subscribe to People Power.
The strongest force in the world is unity. Whenever we are disunited, we are definitely substantively affecting. That is why as leaders, we are always struggling to see that we are united as a people. We need everybody to be involved. These are not issues that be left to anybody. Everybody is supposed to be on the issue of having the right political direction of our country. Those who believe that they can sit back, that they can appease their ego, that they can find solitary escapism, it is absolutely wrong, and they will face the challenges of living a dictator longevity it's up this time.
All right, as we wind up the show, because it's almost time nadde wadde ogambi wali ng'otandika nti ogenda tuyisizaamu mu amendments 10 tezaaweddeyo, but amongst those ze waleseeyo sooka otwongereyoko.
Amendments ze naleseeyo nakubulidde eya chairman, nakubulidde ey'okuintroduce advisory council. Advisory council egenda kubeera akakoba eminent persons okuli ba members of okuli the constituencies an advisory council comprising of former party presidents, party chairpersons, deputy chairpersons, deputy president, secretary general, former leaders, business leaders of opposition, and all honorary members. The role of the council is to advise and give advice on the general direction of the party at any time. Mu party constitution munera twataddemu nti the constitution introduces given the hostile environment under which we operate, the constitution provides for various options of candidate selection, which may include holding party primaries, vetting of candidates, or a combination of approaches in case the parties hold primaries. The constitution lays down the electoral processes of which we can arrive at the leaders. The constitution sets in party structures from the party village level to national level. The constitution has now set out the conventions and conferences that will sit from the village to the national level. That is all in the Constitutional Review Commission that was led by our able Medad Segona Akalia Amagwa. As I said also, it introduces 10 departments, governing departments that have been termed as members of the executive board that will do the day-to-day running of the party. So those are mainly the highlights of our issue, especially the review. I do not see where anybody can say that this review was to the contrary of what it's supposed to be. However, let us give also it time to breathe, to work, such that we can judge it on its existence. We cannot judge a child who has just been born. on what he will be in the future. We believe, for us who took part and were on the side of the term limits, we believe it is going to help us the certain continuity that we have desired in developing of leaders. This is something we passionately believe in, especially the issue of term limits. Just imagine okuba ne Secretary General n'abeera mu kifo. Secretary General asobola okulemera mu kifo emyaka kuba yaba ne instruments of power. Chovola batwagambye nti there must be devolution of power and there must be the constitution must be cognizant of its role as a constitution, as a law, not a paper tiger of the administrators. So we have come up with a very good book, a very good constitution. It only ndowooza bannayuganda kino constitution eyakoleddwa y'omukisa gwe mulina okwongera okusaba za Kyagulanyi Robert Mutebi kuba nkakasa ajja kuba musajja wa byego.
Lastly, as we wind up our 16 minutes with Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, because we are almost left with I think less than 5 minutes, just a few minutes. Now, Alex, abantu abagamba nti Alex nti osabula abantu toba nti olulimi lw'okozesa waliwo abantu bangambye Alex mutubuulize nga oli yagambye nga avuma nnyo abantu nga abasabula nnyo nga abayisaamu nnyo amaaso bamubuuza ekibuuzo nengamba Alex kino ngenda kimubuuza mu lwatu abadde balina comments ezo bajja kwewulirirako sooka obaddemu.
Jebi kakati Jebi nze abantu Jebi wali owuliddeyo nga nfuma omuntu ekigambo kyonna
nze omuntu gwe siwulirangako
lampe mudde omuntu ekigambo
nedda sewo
wali ompuliddeko nga nkozamu ekitasobola kuyita mu kamwa k'omuntu omutegeevu kyonna
nze sikiwulirangako era ngambye kankibuuze n'abantu beewuunye.
Nze njogera mazima ate amazima oluusi gakaawa. Kyovola abateri yagenze mu kooti kumpawaabira. Olunaku lwe baligenda mu kooti okumpawaabira kumayogera lolitegeera nti nvuma abantu. Naye olw'okuba baagala okunkyaya abawuliza bagaana okuba nga tebampuliriza. Ekyokubiri bagoba kulina jebi. Nze bwe mbanga kampu ya Muwonge nagivumye netuula nekkiriza nti nagivumye. Ate abantu abawagizi b'ennyumba mba mu manja ati mundeke ngivume ndeke mbawemule anti bagambye nti mbawemule. Kubanga mu mazima nze ne Frank Gashumba ani asinga okuvuma abantu. Batuyita basiyazi, batuyita banjaga, batuyita banditi, batuyita babuligani, batuyita buli kye baagala. Naye olw'okuba ffe twasalawo tubafinge bwe nsanga omutemu mugamba nti gwe Kasolo watta kubanga ne bw'aba yatta mba mumanyi nga gy'ali
nga wamugamba kwenigeza amazima kuba wamugamba mazima
bwe ngamba benibye nti mwawandiika ebbaluwa ku Gashumba mba njogedde mazima nze mba nali simanyi. Ekyokubiri nze buli gwe njogerako aba waali soogera ku ataliiwo kati wali yayagala okunkolerako amawulire asibire empale mu mutima manyi kati okusaba omuntu asibire empale mu mutima kati ate bwe mugamba nga mugaa nti Waiswa akoze naye ng'empale agisibira mu mutima kakati nze omuntu akyasibira empale mu mutima twabayitanga balongido nakubadde ziri engato zimusota ebabwete ekigere kiba kyakoowa mubafu omanyi ewaffe teri enguudo ebusogezira nguudo so omuntu azokuwa n'ekigere nga kiri oti kyatambulira kati mugambe ki jebi so kyamukisa mubi jebi nti nze
singa asibire empale mu mutima abaddewo wano
asibire empale nayambalirako ne kala ze za orange ku masaati kakati najja mu show najja naye nga ze anyogere kati ze mudde mu show kakati just biba bya mazima nga tolina kyakukolera abantu
bane bagamba nti obavuma
jebi Mahatma Gandhi yatugamba nti you have to do whatever you do for as long as it is not a treasonous act. Bakyali ku byakubavuma balinda ate bwe tulikola ebirala. Tetunaba nze sosobola kuvuma nze taata wange ne maama wange we bali. Nze nakula nga taata wange musajja mukwasa wa mpisa, musajja munamateeka. Nakula nze nkwasiswa nze ne TV nagirabanga nyambadde saati. Naye lwakuba kati yasibire empale mu kifuba yagirabya ze Kampala ng'akuze. Tayinza kunnyonnyola bisingako awo. Kati bw'omubuulira amazima nga akola ki? Agamba Waiswa naye nze ndi musajja. JB bw'asanga e Kampala si musajja mwewombeefu mwetowase. I'm actually a shy person. That is what people don't know. That is why I am not easy. Naye bajja kuba bulungi. Kyenyiza okakasaba bannayuganda. Gwe bw'ovuma NUP, when you attack NUP, you attack His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi. That institution has the deputy spokesperson, Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro. He will reply in kind and on time. Nobody will intimidate me from doing the job that Ugandans have asked me to do. The voice I use is not mine. This voice is the voice of the people. It is a voice that is not relaying my personal message. I am not relaying my personal message. I am not relaying my homestead message. I am relaying a message. I am a voice for the oppressed Ugandans. Kyagulanyi, His Excellency Robert we yali ampa obuvunaanyizibwa bwe yangamba genda oyogere amazima, genda oyogerere bannayuganda, genda okiikirire eddoboozi ly'omuntu wa wansi atafuna mukisa kujja ku TV. JB kati ndi ku JB Kampala, owa bodaboda tali ku JB Kampala. Olese nze nze okwogera ebyowa bodaboda atali mweno ntebe kubanga nze nkiikirire wa boda. Kati nze buli wenzijja mu balamu bamusiba mutaayi ababuzaabuza abantu nebaga naye ababodaboda bali mu bakwata bo balina kunyiiga kubanga baagala mbeere nabo, mbeere ndya nabo, mbeere nga nze sibuulira abantu. Pulezidenti yatugambye nga sirabisa ate nga nze nkyalina okulabisa ate nga n'ebyokulabisa bwe liba pulezidenti apadde assignment endala ate nabyo mbisobola.
Ate weebiri bingi.
Kyebye munnange kankubuulire tubisobolera ddala era tugenda bikola.
Soka
abaseka naye tugenda nno bikolera nno ddala.
Soko gamba abantu obugambo bw'obusembayo because we are past time, just a few like 1 minute.
I want to thank the viewers of JB Live. It has been a great evening this beautiful Wednesday to have an interaction with you comrades. I look forward to more interactions. I hope it has been thoughtful as we said, and I hope it has been one worth a while. Your data manyi nti data w'ebitaano amanyi okugwako naye mala ne mwongerako n'abawala 10. Mukama Katonda abankuumire. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Era mazina okwogera. Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, the NUP deputy spokesperson. Last time it was last time it was Tawanyizwana network and today we managed to be having a stable network. Till next time, have a wonderful time.